me what you think about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, good evening, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call What Women Want Wednesday. This is an opportunity for us to have an interactive conversation with me and you and my guests. So I really want to hear from the women, but the men can also comment as well. So let's start off with you all just telling me what city and state you are tuning in from. Just put the city and the state in the comments. Your name will automatically appear. So city and state only. I want to know who's with us tonight. Who is with us tonight? It's been a kind of rainy but warm day here in Tallahassee, but a great day. I am pressing and flying today. For those of you who aren't familiar with Press and Fly, this is the logo. And this was created by my very special guest who's joining me tonight. Tonight's topic is on anxiety and stress. We got some tips and techniques to cope and deal with COVID and the state of our current society with the protest and all of what's happening. So, coping and de stressing. So, without further ado, y'all help me welcome Miss Jian Jones. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I feel like so honored. I've told you that a million times already.
You have. No, the great pleasure is mine. So I have been an admirer from a distance of Gion's and a supporter. I think that she's super cool. But I want you to tell our viewers a little bit about you, where you from. I know where you from, but where you from, what you do, and a little bit about your book too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, my name is Jian G. Air Mayola Jones. Yes, I just gave you my full government, but people know me as Jian Jones. And I am from Tallahassee, Florida, by way of Pelham, Georgia. It is a very small rural town in South Georgia. I am, first and foremost, a mother of three wonderful boys that I call hashtag PMD Click on social media. I am also a professor of occupational therapy at Florida A&M University, and I am also a transformation coach. I am an author of this wonderful book, Rainbow in the Starlit Sky, which is a 30-day perspective shifting challenge. This book will help you to focus on the lesson, which is the promise, and that's considered the rainbow whenever you experience a dark situation. So in every dark situation, you have little spectacles of light, and we should focus on those little spectacles of light because they get us through and they lead us to that rainbow. I am also a hip hop scholar, so I use hip hop references and hip hop culture to help us reach our purpose and to educate those. And I'm also the creator of hashtag Press and Fly, as the beautiful Miss Nicole Everett just told you, which tells people to press through your obstacles so that we can fly towards our destiny. And that's something that I push to do every single day.
Don't y'all just love her? Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you for that great intro, ma'am. She just covered it. Look, bam. All right. So we got a few people on here that are giving us greetings. So let's say hey there to Mr. Derek Standiford.
That's my accountability partner. Y'all say hey to Derek.
So since Derek is on here, real quick, what you and Derek got going on? It's like on the 15th of this month.
It is June 15th. Our 2020 Visionary Series, we're keeping this thing going, even though the platform has changed. We will be on Facebook Live from 6 to 6:30 talking about consistency with goal setting. So I'm telling you how to be consistent with effective goal setting regarding press and fly. And Derek is telling you how to be consistent with the 6 steps of solving the Rubik's Cube. So y'all join us Monday, June 15th from 6 to 6:30 Facebook Live.
All right. Very good. Okay, so we got Nefertari on here from Tallahassee. Hey Neffy. We got Lindsay
Hey, Liz.
Thompson. Greetings, Queen. We also have Dr. Janelle Robinson.
Oh, hey, Janelle.
Yes, I love the IG live that you all did about a week or so ago on transformation coaching and her managing her anxiety, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. So thank
Yeah.
you for being on, Janelle.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson.
Yes. Dr.
Asha.
Asha,
Hey,
850.
Asha.
Yeah, Dr. Asha is in the midst of She Tea 2020
She is. And you go ahead, honey.
all week long. So yeah, Dr. Asha's been getting it in every single night this week. I think today
Yeah.
was their Sabbath, but it's been good. So She Tea has been the bomb. So thank you, Dr. Asha, for all you do. All right. Janelle says she is everything.
As are you and Miss Nicole. Yes.
Sweet. Hey Jackie, thanks for being on. Jackie's one of my two-step buddies, so appreciate you
Hey, Miss Jackie.
chiming in, and hopefully you will engage in the conversation. We got Anawetta. Thank you. She said hello, ladies.
Hello, hello.
And Miss Lisa.
Hey, Miss Lisa.
Yes, yes. Thanks for being on here. So let's see. What are we gonna start with? We talking about coping. So, COVID hit us hard kind of
Mm-hmm.
mid-March,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been nonstop, but also we've had several just brutal deaths of Black lives, male and female. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd, which has really truly sounded the alarm, not only across this country, but across the globe, with
Mm-hmm.
people protesting and marching and rioting, and just just a lot going on, bringing a lot of awareness to prejudice, racism, bias, systemic racism, discrimination, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot to contend with. So while you know maybe those um, issues or topics are new to the masses from the standpoint of considering them.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that Black folks in America have had to kind of deal with every day, right? In some form or fashion,
Right.
and it can be a bit much. It can be a bit much. So I thought with what you do with OT and as a transformational life coach,
Mm-hmm.
and just your motivational mindful Mondays, um, and with the book, I thought it would be great for you to come on and let's just talk about how we can cope during this time.
How we can cope. So, this is a very dear topic to me, only because so many people that I know, love, and care about deal with stress and anxiety on a daily basis, regardless of if there's a pandemic or if there's a brutal killing that, again, that you stated that we're used to. So, I truly believe in preventative wellness. But a lot of the time, we are attempting to put out a fire that has already started. So,
Mhm.
what I like to do, in something that you wanted to do, was give takeaways during this time.
Yes.
And stemming from the conversation with Dr. Robinson, anxiety and stress, they both have their own definition. I'm going to give you those definitions. So, anxiety is the feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So that's because like we're having these feelings because we're not sure what the outcome is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or we create our own narrative of what the outcome will be, even though going back to the definition, we are uncertain about the outcome. We already tell
Mm-hmm.
ourselves that it's not going to work out or it's going to
Right.
end up bad. And so that increases that anxiety response. Well,
Mm-hmm.
stress is an emotional or physical, it is emotional or physical tension from specific stimuli. So anxiety can cause stress and stress can cause anxiety. And
Mm-hmm.
with the
Oh, wow.
pandemic of COVID-19, and then you have media attempting, not attempting, but media showing us the brutal killing of George Floyd. And then we have all of these other people where we're stating, say their names so that they're remembered. It's eliciting both anxiety and stress, and they're feeding off of one another. So you have this cyclical cycle of stress and anxiety and stress, which is leading to other issues, decreased sleep, loss of appetite, or increased sleep because of potential or short-term depression. You're having, if you're increasing your sleep, you're potentially eating more. If you haven't lost your appetite, you might exercise more. That's me. That's one way that I cope, and it's not a good way to deal with coping because too much exercise is just like not enough exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's other things that come into play. So what we need to do is establish a healthy routine of coping within ourselves. And we have 5 with 2 bonuses. So that
Okay.
equals 7 things that we
Okay.
can do. The first one is to accept who you are within the space. So if you are a person who is naturally aggressive, that's okay because we need peacemakers and we need people to put peace into place. And that's 2 different things. You have calm people and those that are more aggressive. So if you are more aggressive, that is okay. It's just that you have to determine the right time to be aggressive and what that means and what that should look like. Okay. And if you are a peaceful person, it's okay. If someone tells you that you need to be doing more, do more within your peaceful realm. That is completely okay. So just recognize and accept who you are in the moment. The second thing
Wait,
is this.
hold on, before you go on. So I'm a little concerned there because how do I want to say this? So I think sometimes people might have difficulty in knowing who they are, and
Mhm,
that might sound a little bizarre because
mm-mm,
it's grown ups on here,
mhm.
but it's a lot of grown people that don't know who they are,
That's true.
or they may be in denial about who they are. So, for instance, you said there's a peaceful person, there's an aggressive person. The
Mhm,
aggressive person may have been raised such that that aggressive nature has been somebody's tried to calm it or quelch it, right?
mhm.
So as a result, they're in denial about their aggressive nature, and have tried to modify their behavior to fit this mold or what they've been told they're supposed to behave like.
Right.
You speak to that just a little bit. I know we got
It's okay.
6 more steps to talk about, but I just had to, because
No,
I
that's
just
okay.
talk to people all the time, and I know that folks are struggling with who they are. I know they are.
Yeah, who you are never goes away. If someone tries to condition who you are out of you, you're still going to feel it. It's still going to be within your essence. So if it's something that you dream about, if it's something that you feel, if you let's say the more aggressive and let's say conducive aggressive for lack of a better
Yeah.
term right now or statement, conducive aggressive person, if you're watching television and you see peaceful protesters, you see those on the front line speaking to police officers in an aggressive way but not touching them. You see them speaking at forums or town hall meetings. You see them speaking to a group of people about what can be done, what our rights are, learning your rights, things that we can do now so that we can be heard. And you feel that, that's you. If you recognize that person or recognize those traits as something that you need to do, and it's to the point where you feel anxious, and anxiety can be both good anxiety and bad anxiety,
Mm,
right? you have that spectrum. You have anxiety like you're about to get on the roller coaster. Like
Mhm.
if you enjoy roller coasters,
Right.
you have anxiety as if you're about to lose someone very dear to you, or you lost something very precious to you and
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
absolutely need it. Those are two different things. But if you feel that anxiety like you or if you feel anxious to the point where this is something I need to do, I have to be, I have to find a way to do this, then that's speaking directly to who you are. Do some self reflection. Self reflection is something that we should do every single day.
Mhm.
Um, that's just simply asking yourself, what do you want to do? If it's something that continues to come up in thoughts or in conversations, if it
Mhm.
speaks directly to you, like I've stated about 3 or 4 times, because to me that's the main way of recognizing that you are something, or that you should be doing something. It speaks to you, then that's a part of who you are. And the same thing for the peaceful person. If you have this feeling that you absolutely need to go out and do something, but it frightens you to be at the forefront. However, it excites you whenever you read research, or you're reading through amendments and you want to type this information out and post it. It brings you peace to do that. It makes you happy to do that. It brings you
Mhm.
excitement. Then
Mhm.
that's speaking directly to who you are. Do some
Mhm.
self-reflection. Is this bringing me joy at the same time as helping other people? If the answer is yes, then it's something that you should be doing.
Wonderful. Okay, we got a couple comments, so let me pause and acknowledge those. I see you, L Blaze. Good, thank you for being on. All right, I think Dr. Janelle is going to be our scribe for the night. So she put the number one. She didn't put the number one, but accept who you are within this space.
Yes, yes.
Accept who you are within this space. So Lindsay said, "Wow, that's powerful, Gian." And Lisa says, so true. Some people are still searching for self. So, oh, okay. Janelle said, giving money to a cause you are passionate
Right.
about can also be peaceful
Yes,
protest.
ma'am, it is.
Okay. We got Lynn Singleton on. Thanks, Lynn, for being here. She said self reflection may be uncomfortable or even frightening for some, also.
That is so true, Dr. Singleton. It is. But it's also something that's necessary. Some things that are necessary are frightening, but it eventually leads to a evolved you or me or whoever is doing the self-reflection. But that is very true. It is. That's why so many people run from it, and they're having a hard time finding out or discovering who they are, because they continue to run from that self-reflection. It is hard to look at yourself in the mirror, truly look at yourself in the mirror and see your demons, and see, all of the ugliness that then turns into that wonderful butterfly after the metamorphosis of self-reflection.
Absolutely. I think, especially during this time of sheltering in place, people have had to kind of deal with themselves and
Hmm.
maybe wrestle with their thoughts that maybe they hadn't processed, or it's been in the back of their memory bank, and now those things have kind of bubbled up and they've had to
Right.
contend with them. So
Mhm.
it's like you said, it's not comfortable. Sometimes it's not pretty, and yes, it can be frightening, but the results, hopefully, after that work is done, is that butterfly. So,
Right.
and a better you.
Hmm.
So we have a comment from Liz Miller. Thank you for being on, Liz. She said, "But aren't we always searching?"
Absolutely. It's a lifelong process. We are always searching, because we are always changing. Changing is one of the only thing, or change is the only thing that is constant. One of the only things that is constant in life. So you will continue to search, just as you will continue to evolve, or just as we will continue to evolve. But within that continuous evolution, we're going to continue with the self-reflection to always be able to identify with who we are in that present moment, or within that year or space. So yes, ma'am, we are always searching.
Okay, very good. All right. So the first one is accept who you are. What's number two?
Accept who you are in this space is number one. Number two is define how you can contribute. And we already kind of touched on this when I stated that if you identify as more of an aggressive person, or more of a peaceful person, then how can you contribute to the situation that's occurring to help ease the anxiety or the stress that we're feeling? Anytime we help, there's research out, and I don't have a reference right now, but there's research that actually indicates that when we give to a certain cause that resonates with us, it decreases anxiety and stress. It releases those good hormones, those endorphins.
Endorphins.
Yep, those endorphins. So, which include oxytocin, that's one of them. And when we define who we are, so that we can contribute with who we identify as, that actually decreases the anxiety and the stress. So that's step 2, accepting who you are in the space and
Yep.
defining how you can contribute.
Defining how you contribute. So I think when I think about this, especially during this time, I've heard people talk about how they felt guilty because they weren't protesting or because they weren't out, in the crowds with the people doing this, that, or the other. And I and others have said to them, no, don't feel like that.
Mhm.
Maybe that's not your contribution at this time.
Right,
Janelle mentioned you can peacefully protest by contributing to a cause,
right.
or it may be, like you said, taking notes and sharing that with
Mhm.
people in a particular group, or making phone calls, or whatever. It could be a myriad of things. So
Mhm.
just because you see, again, we're gonna get to this, I know, as it relates to media and the effects that it has on us. But because you see people in the media, social media, doing this, that, and the other, doesn't mean you have to follow suit.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to
Exactly.
decide how you can contribute that's going to, bring about the greatest good. And it, again, doesn't have to look like anybody else, but also is fulfilling to you. So,
Right. Janelle and I were having a conversation. Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I was actually upset about 2 weeks ago, and I was telling her all of these things that I wanted to do, that I had to do more. And I tend to do that. I feel like I'm in between of that peaceful and aggressive. That may be
mhm,
surprising to some people that just see me on social media, and that makes sense to people that know me very well.
mhm,
Um, and she got me together in a way. She said, Gian, I believe that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing. You are pouring into your children, the children that you are raising, who are the citizens of tomorrow.
mhm,
You are also mentoring young Black men and women within your job, within your career, your profession. You
mhm.
are telling them ways that they can contribute, and raising up the next generation to do the work is a part of your protest.
Yeah.
And I had to sit with that and say, you know what, you're right. Because I so quickly want to either do an event or post something or write another book or write a
Mhm.
poem. Like I want to do something in the moment. And she was like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing enough. You
Yeah.
don't add anything
Yeah.
else. Like,
Yeah.
you are doing enough. You need to sit down and meditate like you do,
Mhm.
and just know that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that's another thing, pouring into the generation after you, so that they can take that on, because
Mhm.
we will get to a point where we are the elders, or we are the elders, and we're telling people
Mhm.
younger than us, this is what you do, and they have the energy to actually go and do it. So defining who you are, and well, defining how you can contribute, that's one way that I contribute, and that's a way that a lot of us can contribute. We just have to sit back and think about those ways and be okay with that, not compare ourselves to other people and what they are doing.
I think I heard or read on a post that you did. I can't remember if you said it or I read it, but it said that my purpose is my protest.
Yep.
My purpose is my protest. So if you
Mhm.
are walking in your purpose, on purpose, as you just described, that
Mhm.
is your protest.
That's your
That's
protest.
how you can contribute. So
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. All right, our
Mhm.
scribe has put down item number 2, define how you can contribute. Thank you, Dr.
I love
Jeanette.
her.
All right, we got Leslie Steele, my sister, on here. Good evening. Good to
I
see
miss
you. Thanks for
Leslie.
being on the live. All right, Janelle said you have to know your lane.
Absolutely.
You have to know your lane. And Shantina, one of our regulars, is on here. Shantina, thanks for being on here. Hope you're
I
doing
miss
well.
Shantina.
All right, so accept who you are, define how you can contribute.
Number 3, step away from media. Social media, news media the newspaper media or paper media, any form of communication where you receive new information or recycle information, we have to take a step away.
Mhm.
This most definitely increases anxiety and stress. There's also research that indicates this. Within the media industry or the journalism industry, they recognize that they would have increased ratings whenever they put out negative information. And that's why the news is so filled with negative information with a little slither of something that's positive. And so on
Mhm.
every news station, that's CNN, Fox News, whatever platform you're watching on television, cable television, or either internet, you're gonna see the things that are negative first. You're gonna see the replaying of the George Floyd death. You're gonna see it, like it's very graphic. They're going to show it. They're going to show the very violent protests. They're not going to show many of the peaceful ones. They're going to show
Mhm.
people who are marching very angrily, screaming, throwing things, damaging property. That's what they're going to show you when there are a lot
Mhm.
more peaceful ones happening. So same thing for social media. You're going to have people that are upset, that are speaking from their heart, but it's coming from a negative place, or it appears to come from a negative place. um there's just going to be a lot of negative things recycled, so we have to step away from media and actually just take a breath and breathe
Mhm.
and reset ourselves. And so that is step number 3, step away
So
from
wait.
all forms of media.
Okay, so let me roll back because we did have some comments about the previous comment or previous
Mhm.
step. So Michael Walker,
Yeah,
greeting.
Michael Walker.
Yes, he said, "Good evening, ladies. Good topic as always, Nicole. Among the best silent protests is supporting Black and Brown businesses,
Yes, yes.
organizations working towards the cause, and voting up and down the ballot, studying the issues,
Mhm.
propositions, and candidates. As far as dealing with the stress of it all, reflect on the goodness of self through meditation. Ask yourself daily, can I be a better person?" Hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Walker, who's
Yes,
actually speaking on the bonus points, the bonus steps that we're going to bring up. But absolutely, those things are definitely needed.
they
And
are.
that's part of that self-reflection piece. Can I be a better person?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Lynn said, pouring into the next generation is a powerful and extremely important contribution.
Yes, ma'am, Dr. Singleton.
So yes, parents and guardians and those who are bringing up the little ones have a very important job. All right. So number 3, step away from the media, from our scribe. All right. Seta said, "Hey, love, agree about staying in the space where you can contribute and stay
Mhm.
away from the media." All
Yes.
right. Lindsay said, "Woo, number 3."
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm
And
I
thank
don't
you
want
always for being
people
on
to
here.
be confused with not staying informed or not being informed. We
Yeah.
can be informed, but you don't need to continue to be re-informed and re-informed again. When you're informed and you have the facts, you move forward with that information
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you implement step 1 through 3.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think that has, during this, what did I tell you that word was? Confluence.
Influence, confluence.
During this confluence of events of pandemic and racial injustice and
Hmm.
police brutality and Black Lives Matter and all of this that's going on, it's coming at you 24/7.
Right. Nicole, let everyone know what confluence means.
So confluence, I heard Stacey Abrams mention tonight on the OWN special, Where Do We Go From Here? And confluence the definition is a junction or
Hmm.
act in the process of merging. So our COVID is has merged with our current state of events with, again, the killings of these Black lives,
Right.
and the outrage of the world, as it relates to the prejudice, bias, discrimination, and racism that Black folks in America have experienced. So all of that is happening at the same time. So, COVID has said, y'all supposed to be staying in, y'all supposed to be social distancing, and we trying to, be
The
like,
people
no,
say no. The
Yeah.
people say no. I
No.
don't care what y'all say. The people say no. No.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. So again, it's a lot going on.
Yes.
So how do we cope? How do we deal? This is worth having a conversation about, and recognizing that, um, you know, I think in particular, the whole thought about defining how you can contribute, that
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna, that was step number two. Um, just kind of getting in where you fit in,
Where
and
you
not
yep.
feeling obligated to
Right.
do what other people are doing, or again, compare yourself to other people. Like
Yeah.
Janelle said, staying in your lane.
And thank you for saying that obligation, because when people feel obligated to do something outside of who they truly are, that again contributes to anxiety and stress, because they're
Mm-hmm.
feeling like they have to do more. And then if they don't do it, there comes in that uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
about, well, if I don't do it, when everything can be settled out in terms of the anxiety and stress if they just stick to their lane. I
Mm-hmm.
am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Therefore, there's nothing uncertain about it. I know what the outcome is going to be. I may not be able to control the outcome or how fast it manifests, but I know what could potentially happen. So I'm okay. So that obligation piece is very important. Thank you for saying
Absolutely, my pleasure. So let me just do a little station identification for those of you who may be just tuning in with us. This is Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and my guest tonight is the lovely, the goddess, Miss Jian Jones, and we're talking about coping with stress and anxiety during our current climate in the world.
that.
All right. So we got a few more comments. Lynn said a social media cleanse is healing.
Hmm.
Hmm. Janelle said there's a difference between being informed and being obsessed with information.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm. Agreed.
Absolutely.
All right, my sister Ursula is on. She said, "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being on,
Yes,
Ursula."
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
my classmate Patrick Barano of Barano and Sons, he
Hey,
is on
Patrick.
the live. So thank you for being on here, Patrick. I really appreciate that. All right, so we said accept who you are, define how you can contribute, step away from the media.
Hmm. And
What's
number
number
4 is a brain purge. So journaling is very important.
Okay.
Journaling allows us to get out thoughts and emotions that just continue to reoccur throughout the day. They also reoccur at night within our dream state. So if we complete a brain purge or mind purge, we are cleansing our mind so that we can put in brand new thoughts. And these brand new thoughts that we can put in can be things that are more positive. So you can listen to motivational speeches, inspirational music, you can say affirmations or just meditate. Just keep your mind clear for as long as possible before thoughts start to resurface. So, journaling, i.e.,
Mhm.
a brain purge, is step
Mhm.
number 4 to assist with decreasing stress and decreasing anxiety during this critical time.
Okay, cool. All right, so Janelle, our scribe said brain purge number 4. She said, love that. My favorite relief for anxiety.
Yes, ma'am. One of
Yeah,
mine.
yes. So Janelle does a great job with poetry. She's a
All
writer.
right, it's therapy.
Yes, yes. All right, it's therapy, and she does a great job. So I'm a witness. She's very
She
skilled
does.
and talented, and she has definitely, you know, channeled that energy to
Hmm.
brain purge and getting her thoughts out very eloquently. And
I know.
yeah, so it,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful gift of hers.
it
So
is.
yeah. All right. She said the only problem is that the paper is not the only thing that catches the purge. Sometimes it is the people, which increases their anxiety.
And
So
that's just
go ahead, yeah.
I was gonna say in those moments, the only problem is that the paper is not the only thing that catches the purse. Sometimes it's the people, which increases their anxiety as well as yours. But what can assist with that is just continuing to have crucial conversations in a conducive second time using that word, in a conducive way, something that's not tearing someone down, but just
Mhm.
explaining your emotion as well as allowing them to explain theirs in the present moment, which is practicing mindfulness, to be
Right.
non-judgmental of yourself by being in that vulnerable state or in being transparent and being non-judgmental for them. That way you're able to convey the messages, receive the messages, and therefore get to a solution. And hopefully that will decrease anxiety and stress. Now that's a practice that we all have to implement on a daily basis or weekly, but crucial conversations does, it will increase anxiety and stress because again that gets rid of the narrative, creating your own narrative piece. So
Mhm.
it is true sometimes people will catch the purge versus the paper, but
True.
just follow up with the crucial conversation, be in the present
Mhm.
moment, listen to them as well as listening to yourself, be non-judgmental, and then work your way to a solution, and hopefully that will solve the problem.
Absolutely. No, I think it's that's a great point that Janelle makes because I
Hmm.
have had quite a few breakdowns during these past 2.5 months or so, and what I will say to my one of my girlfriends is that you know nobody got hurt
Hmm.
in the process because I was able to isolate myself and allow myself to feel and deal and start the healing process. So
Hmm.
it's if it does happen that somebody gets crossed up in the crossfire of all of that, just be willing to be accountable and tell them kind of what's going on with you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a part of the crucial conversation. Be accountable, which is starting with self,
Mm.
right? We
Yeah.
talked about that a little bit before we got started.
Yeah.
And then communicating that to the other person so that we can, reach a middle ground with it. There's going to be tension in this type of in the situation that we're in during this confluence,
Mm.
the merging of two huge issues.
Mhm.
Um, However, we just have to adapt to the behavior that we're going to display or exhibit and understand that we're human beings. But because we are intelligent, we can communicate and come
Right.
to a middle ground. So hopefully that'll be the case for all of these good people on this Facebook Live with Conversations with Nicole.
Indeed. And, I'm encouraging us all to pack our patience, to be patient with
Hmm.
ourselves and to be patient with others because, in many regards, we are traveling into uncharted territory because maybe we have, I tend to talk about how, I am a glass half full type
Hmm.
of girl and I tend to not deal with anger and hurt and any of those kind of what I deem to be negative feelings, sadness. I just don't have time for it in my mind because I am joy. So
Right.
as a result, I put all of that in my suck it up cup, and then
Hmm.
eventually my suck it up cup overflows because something
Yeah.
triggers me, and then it's like 3 years worth of sucking it all up comes out, right? So that's not good, though. That's not good. So,
It's not, and I'm smiling so big because that was me. That used to be me. I used to be like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. And then I would blow up, and people would be like, "Who is this?" It's Jian. You know why? Because I've had enough.
right.
Um, but now I communicate. I think to the point where some people may say that I overanalyze, and for me, I don't feel like that's what's happening. I just want you to know that this is what I'm feeling so that it won't be an issue later on. And neither one of us would be able to say that I never told you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would like to deal with it, but if you don't feel like it's an issue, we don't have to, and we can move forward. And but it's already out there. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when you set your intention, um, like the Bible say, your word will not return void. It
Yeah.
won't return void. It's out there. It's in the universe. God will let it, be used, and
Mhm.
what's supposed to blossom from it will blossom.
Right. It all in divine timing is what I say.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got a lot of comments. So let me circle back
Oh,
and try to get these things put underway. All right. So Fransley is on.
hey,
Greetings.
Fransley.
Good to see you, friends. All right. So Janelle said, patience. Where can I buy some of that? Do they have it at Costco's?
No, ma'am, you were born with it. You just have to access it. That's it. It's there,
So
you
do
know.
they sell it at a black-owned business?
Some of them, some of them, they sell it at Jian Jones LLC. You can purchase some with this book, Rainbow and the Starlit Sky.
I
Um,
love it. I love it. All right, good answer. All right, Lisa. She said, wonderful conversation, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for being on here.
Lisa, I
Appreciate it.
love
All right, Janelle said, I need to buy a lot of it. I am severely deficient. All right, well, that's a point of prayer, Janelle. Point
it.
of prayer. Okay, Rakenya, my FAMU sister said, hello, ladies. Good information, very good information. What I've learned over time is that self awareness is most important, and stop expecting yourself from other people. Not quite know what she mean by that, but I
Okay,
think she meant something else. All right, Francie said, got to let it go.
gotta
Okay,
let it go. Like
gotta
JT
let
Money
it go.
said,
Yeah.
let
All
it
right.
go.
My LT classmate Brandon is on here. He said LT 37 represented. Great topic. Glad to be able to listen in tonight. Thank you,
Thanks,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Give your greetings. Give our greetings to your lovely wife, Stephanie. I think you all just had an anniversary the other day. So happy anniversary. All right, Lindsay said, I believe that is so key, Nicole. More patience with others and specifically with ourselves. I
Mhm.
think what helps with that is always trying our best to have a spirit of gratitude.
Yes,
Amen.
ma'am. That
Gratitude.
spirit of gratitude always gives us more to be grateful for. So yes, very good point, Lindsay.
Yep, yep, yep. Thank you for bringing that out, Lindsay. All right, so accept who you are. Define how you can contribute. Step away from media.
Hmm.
Brain purge or mind
Yep.
purge.
And
And
then taking a break. Number
take
5 is taking a break. Take a
take a
break.
break. Number 5.
So true story. That's something that I say on my motivational mind for Mondays, and that's just letting you know that I'm about to tell you something that's very truthful.
Yep.
Yesterday I had a meeting with some of my students, and before this meeting I was already very emotional from the social climate, from some things personally, some personal family things that have occurred. My job very overwhelming right now with sites not wanting to take students. And I'm writing my proposal for my dissertation right now. So all of those things are just they have me in an emotional state. And I really did not want to meet with these students because it had already been a very long day of Zoom meetings with the university altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I get on this call. Why? Because we press and fly. Press
Press
through
and
the obstacles,
fly.
fly towards our destiny. And I get on, and the students they know me. They've been with me for going on 2 years. They know me very well. And we get on, and I'm like, hey, everybody, how are you? And they're like, we're good. How are you? And I said, not very good, but we're going to get it going. And they stopped and they said, no, we can reschedule if you're not feeling well, Professor Jones. We can sense that something's going on. And I said, no, we're here. We're going to get it going. I'm pretty sure you guys just want to go ahead and get it done. And one student, she stopped and she said, but not at the cost of your mental wellness.
Mm. Mm.
And I actually teared up because this is something that I tell them. And in tearing up, I closed my camera like so. And because I felt it coming, and I gave myself a moment so that I can get my voice together to speak. And I said, if you ladies don't mind, I would like to reschedule.
Okay.
And I had already, I would say, manifested that I did not want to meet, but I felt obligated to because we had a schedule. I'm their professor. I'm setting the
Mhm.
example on how to be professional. You have to show up when you have a job to do.
Right.
And they recognize that in being occupational therapy students, that
Mm-hmm.
wellness comes first. And the same thing that I've been teaching them, they flipped right back on me, which I appreciate them for that.
Mm-hmm.
And Well, after we hung up, I said, Jian, it is okay to take a break. This is something that I supposedly live by. I do. But in that moment, I just wanted to get through it because I wanted the students. I blamed it on them. I wanted them to go ahead and have their group so that they could move forward and not be behind. But in
Right.
that moment, I did need that break. So to not feel guilty about letting my students down, I told myself and I affirmed myself, it is okay to take a break. You need one. And if you continue to pile things on top of yourself during this time when you're already attempting to decrease or use energy to decrease anxiety and decrease stress that you may be feeling, you're just going to push yourself to the point of a breakdown. And
Mm.
that's what we want to avoid. So, number 5, take a break. It is okay. Take a break.
So, talk a little bit about what a break looks like.
A break may look like, we can call them mental health days or mental health time. It could be an
Okay.
entire day away from the screen. If you actually have to, if you're still working remotely from home, this may be actually putting in time so that you do not have to log on that day. This
Okay.
can be working half of a day, logging on from 8 to 12, and then after 12, you no longer log on. This could be stepping away. If you're at work, this could be stepping away from your workstation and going for a walk for about an hour, or just taking a moment to breathe or meditate.
Mhm.
It could be 2 days. Taking a break is not engaging in what you would consider to be work. So
Okay.
for me, a lot of times I don't consider Preston Flower Jian Jones LLC tasks to be considered work because I love having, I have fun doing it, but it's still energy that I'm expending
Mhm.
to get something done. A lot of it is very tedious, reading certain things to make sure that I'm not spelling things wrong or that I'm providing accurate information.
Mhm.
Making phone calls, checking emails, checking text messages that are related to work, or even checking text messages that are personal. Taking a break is stepping away from your phone, stepping away from the computer, stepping away from anything that requires mental and emotional or social energy,
Mhm.
spiritual as well, and just being with yourself to rest. There's a difference between rest and sleep, and this would be taking a break to rest yourself.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that clarity, just in case people didn't know what taking a break meant.
Yeah,
All
taking a break.
right. So Fransley said, take that moment. The teacher became the student.
That is very true. To the point I was crying, Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm. Yep.
crying. The baby told me I need to take a break. I was like, you know what? I
Yeah.
will. I'll take a break.
All right. RJ said, meaning people may not respond or act how you would respond or act, and that's okay.
That is okay.
Okay. All right. Nidria said thanks.
Hey, Kiki.
Yes. All right. We got Taj on here, and he said these are great comments. Thanks, Taj. Appreciate you being on. All right. So, accept who you are. Define how you can contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Step away from media.
Mm-hmm.
Mind purge.
Mm-hmm.
Take a break.
Take a break. And we have
Two bonus.
two bonus steps. Bonus
With
step
it.
number 1, which we can consider to be number 6,
Okay.
is stop creating your own narrative and stick to the facts.
Okay.
So that just basically means when you are watching media or when you're consuming information, what you see is what you see. Um, then we start to have these conversations outside about what else could have happened, what else could have occurred, what continues to happen. We just continue to bring up new things. Some things are factual and some things are absolutely not factual, and that just continues to increase our anxiety and stress. If the information isn't going to lead to a solution within ourselves or within our community or the nation, then it's not something we necessarily need to keep talking about. Now, if it's a theory, being a researcher, if you are creating a theory to actually publish information on, that's something different. But if we are feeding into conspiracy theories or things that are not factual, then just stop creating your own narrative. Stick to the
Mhm.
facts.
Mhm.
That's one way to decrease anxiety and stress. And then bonus step number
Wait,
2, 4.
wait. We got some comments.
Okay.
So Liz, she said, yes, I'm taking my break Friday. I need a day.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Liz, take it.
Mm-hmm. Chanel said, bonus step 6, stop creating your own narrative and stick to the facts. And she
Absolutely.
said, get out of my business, Gian.
I'm not in your business, sis. I'm not. I'm
Y'all
not.
two are something else. All right. Taj said, that's just great.
I'm
And
glad.
RJ said, now that's a whole sermon, Gian. Stop
Pass the collection
creating
plate.
your own narrative.
Pass the collection plate.
Yes, pass it. So I have friends that and are really bad about that. I mean, they just get a piece of information and run with it. And I have
Run.
to be like, how did you like add that up and get that? I don't how, how he didn't say that. She didn't I how did you get that? I don't
Mhm.
know how. Yeah. So yeah. I I ask a lot of questions when when I sense that people are creating these narratives
Mhm.
that aren't based on anything but probably anxiety and stress,
Right. You
fear,
know. Mhm.
uncertainty,
Mhm.
nervousness, a
Right.
lot of different things. But it's like, what it might not even be none of that. So why are you even going there?
Thank you. It might not be none of that. That's a sermon too. It might not be none of that. Stop. Just stop. And I understand why, because we're trying to understand. And if we don't understand something, we ask questions to understand. And that leads to creating our own narrative. So if me and you are having a conversation and you're like, why would he do I don't want to use that illustration. Why would he, place his knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes? And then someone will answer the question, well, maybe because of so and so, he did so and so, and he just thought that was okay. But yeah, all the people were standing around. Did you hear that? That just leads us down a rabbit
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Gian froze, y'all. So give her one moment. One moment. So listen, I'm gonna read some of these other comments real quick. We got Rick Cotton on here. He said, good, informative dialogue, ladies. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you being on. Felicia Dilbert is on here. She's laughing. Appreciate you being on, Felicia. Taj said, I love that you like facts, and I do. So hopefully Gianna come pop off and come back on again. So just bear with her for just one moment. All right. And Felicia said, yes, that Nicole. Say that, Nicole. Yes, sis. So, I try to refrain from um, running with stories, narratives, creating the narratives that are not factual. But, I know sometimes it can be I feel like a lot of times those are coping mechanisms because of how our minds process information and we put things in buckets and try to make sense of it. So, we will come up with a narrative. All right. I think Gian is back with us. There we go. All right. Cool. So, RJ said human nature, people fill in the blanks when they are void of information.
and that's true, RJ. What we need to do though is again what RJ said. Yep, that's true. It is human nature, but we have to step back and say, however, that's all hypothetical. We're just having conversation here. The fact is, this is what happened. This is what happened. That's what we know, and we're just going to stick with that, and that's it. And you move on, especially when you are attempting to, keep your anxiety and stress at bay. That's
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing. Now, this outside of that, if you're just having conversation with your girlfriends or somewhere else you're having a debate, then it's okay to elaborate and create
Right.
your own narrative. But in situations specifically when we are attempting to decrease anxiety and stress, then no, we have to stay away from that because that's going to increase that anxiety and stress.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great point. All right. So what is number 7?
Number 7
Mm-hmm.
is, of course, because I'm the number one wellness expert in the world, exercise, breathe, drink water, eat well, and meditate, as well as get proper sleep. Do not, so
Ooh, wait
within
a minute.
that,
You
you need me to
said,
repeat all of it?
yeah, you said exercise, drink water,
Exercise, drink water, breathe
breathe. Uh-huh.
well,
Eat well.
and get the proper amount of sleep.
All right. Proper sleep.
Yeah. And with the proper sleep, we do not want to ingest information right before we lay down to go to sleep because whatever we consume in terms of what we read, what we watch 5 minutes before bed, it goes directly to our subconscious mind. And it's
Mm,
something that our brain is just going to continue to rerun while we're sleeping. And while we're sleeping is when that's like one of the most powerful times for us to store information. So everything from the day is being stored. It's sort of like your muscles. When you work
mm,
out, everything is being repaired overnight and you actually wake up stronger or there's muscle growth. Same thing with the mind. Whatever we read or watch right before, well, throughout the day, but specifically right before bed, is going to be stored in a powerful way. So we want to be careful with what we ingest right before bed, and it could disrupt your sleep if it's something that's troubling to you. So
mm.
if you want proper sleep, then meditate or breathe right before sleep. Drink water right before going to bed. Drink water upon waking up. Exercise daily. It doesn't have to be vigorous, but do some form of exercising. And then just taking moments to breathe. The breath is the start of everything. That was the very first thing that we received upon being born. It's the very last thing that you actually do right before you transition.
Mm.
So those are all a part of number 7. They all are linked to decreasing stress and anxiety.
So we do have some comments, but before I get to those, I want you to talk about sleep and the
Okay.
importance of sleep.
They're important. Oh, sleep is extremely important. If you lack of sleep is automatically going to make you more anxious and is going to increase stress. Sean Stevenson, he is one of my mentors. He doesn't know it yet, but he
Oh.
is. He actually wrote an entire book on sleep and the importance of sleep. And earlier I talked about the difference between rest and sleep. Resting is when you're just at a state of rest and you're not necessarily doing anything.
Mhm,
This could be considered meditation or breathing, or you could be listening to music with your eyes closed, or listening to a book, or reading a physical book.
mhm,
But sleeping is where you are within the REM cycle of sleep and then into deep sleep. This is
mhm,
where you are on for sake, I mean, for lack of a better term, unconscious to a certain point.
mhm.
Your body is repairing itself altogether or resetting for the next day.
Okay.
Um, this is a part of your circadian rhythm. We are naturally supposed to sleep at night, and it is a class 1 carcinogen if you don't sleep during dark time, which is nighttime, and
Okay.
you work overnight. There's research that actually indicates that it's a class 1 carcinogen. It can increase your risk of cancer if you are not getting the proper amount of sleep or
Oh,
if you don't
wow.
sleep during nighttime. That's actually in Sean Stevenson's book. So, sleep is extremely important for our mental clarity, how we deal with emotions, how we digest our food, how we process information, how our muscles repair itself. I've already said how we digest our food, and our brain has, I mean, our digestive system has been linked to brain function as well. So sleep actually helps reset all of those things. Sleep is
Wow.
extremely important.
Okay. All right. Let me get to some of these comments. So Liz said, ladies, I enjoyed this very much, but I need sleep. Thank you all. Thank you, Liz, for being on here.
Go to sleep, Miss Liz.
Yes. Cara, she said, I'm late. Thank you for being on, Cara. You can catch the replay, so no worries. Todd said, reading and prayer.
Yes.
He said, I do none of these subconscious. We got Peter on. Greetings, Peter. Thanks for being on. And then Miss Anita. Greetings. Thank you for being on. She said, do you have a suggestion for a meditation program?
Absolutely. So there's meditation information in my book, Rainbow in the Starlit Sky. But if you send him at it's Jian Jones, I could actually provide you with a meditation program. So again, that's at it's ITS Jian Jones, and the at symbol is the at symbol at the beginning.
Okay. Very good. Wow. All right. So, for those of you who are just joining us, we have been talking about coping techniques for anxiety and stress. We've been given the definition of anxiety, the definition of stress, and the strategies are one, to accept who you are, two, define how you can contribute, three, step away from media, four, mind purge, which is journaling primarily, take a break is number five, and the bonuses are six, stop creating your narrative and stick to the facts, and seven, which is a mega bonus,
It
is
is.
exercise, drink water, breathe, eat well, and get the proper sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Johnny, one of my regular viewers, is on here and he asks how many hours of sleep is required.
Ooh, this is a very good question, Mr. Johnny. So there's research that indicates that every person is different. We have people that have faster metabolisms and therefore may not need as much sleep. So if you are a person that only needs 4 to 6 hours, then that should be sufficient. But you have opposing research that indicates that we need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, very rarely have I read that Americans get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So what I attempt to do is get between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. Anytime I read research or I look at research, I do an experiment on myself to see what actually works for me. And I know that 4 to 6 hours does not work for me very well. And I think that 9 hours is a bit too much because if I get 9 hours of sleep, I'm fatigued after those 9 hours. But 7 to 8 hours happen to be like the perfect range for me. So I am going to ask you or to state to start out between 7 to 9 hours to see, which one helps you function better. And on those days that you function better, then that's probably the amount of hours that you need. So my answer is going to be 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night.
All right. Thank you. All right. Anita said thanks. And Miss Nancy May is on. Thanks for tuning in, Nancy. She's with Sinclair Broadcasting here locally. She said, hi, Nicole, enjoying the show. Thank you, Nancy.
And Miss Nicole.
Hey. All right. Fransley said, add massage therapy spa day to the list. Get your hair and hands and feet done. Yes. Listen, are the massage therapists open now?
I know. Do you know any massage therapists?
Because
Francis?
I am long overdue. Long.
I am too. I am too.
Yes. So Fransley wants to add that to the list.
Okay. Well, let's add that to the list.
I'm with you on that, friends. I'm with you. Massage is everything. Everything. Yes. All right. Well, I think we have covered it. I
I think so too.
yeah. If you all have any other comments, by all means, put them in the comment box and I will share them before we end the broadcast. But I first have to thank my lovely guest, Miss Jian Jones, the goddess.
Thank you. I'm again honored to be on your show and in your presence. You are a celebrity.
Uh,
No, you are. You're a celebrity. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you honor me with your words. Yeah, thank you so much. It's
You
my
are.
pleasure. You got us straight. You got us, squared away in terms of coping. And hopefully folks will reflect upon this conversation and put these tips and techniques into practice. All right.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to, whatever coping strategy you have that already works for you, make sure that you put that within the steps as well. Don't step away from the system that has already been working for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Lisa said, I would love a massage now. Lisa, you are on that list too. Levon, who is another one of my regular viewers, he said, thanks, ladies. Delightful. Appreciate you, Levon, for
Awesome.
tuning in. All right. Johnny said, talk about your book. All right. So, Johnny, we're going to circle back in just a minute. Todd said, this is just great. And Miss Lynn said, excellent conversation, ladies. Thank you. Our
Thank you, Dr.
pleasure.
Singleton.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, listen to Cara. Can I get your autograph, CWN? Thanks, Gian Goddess. Sure, Cara. Sure. How about I sign your shirt? All right. Rakenya said, so proud of you, Gian. Hopefully you remember us from Hallandale way back in the day.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course I do.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Thank you.
All right, so Johnny wants to know about the book. So give Johnny, I don't know if he caught you on the beginning,
The
but
beginning.
yeah, give
Okay.
him another synopsis.
So thank you, Mr. Journey, for inquiring. But Rainbow in the Starlit Sky is a 30-day perspective shifting challenge where I am talking about specifically how I learned to focus on the lesson, and the lesson is the actual rainbow. So during dark times, there's always spectacles of light or little instances of light. And we typically only focus on the dark time, but I learned that when focusing on the light or the light within that dark situation, it leads me to a better understanding of why I'm in that situation and how to apply what I learned in the future. And so Rainbow in the Starlit Sky basically provides 30 perspectives with a few bonuses in there on how to focus on the light and dark situations. It includes information on sleep because I learned about sleep during that time. It includes information on meditation. It has some journaling activities in there. With every perspective, there is a action activity so that you can further learn from the situation so that you can apply it tangibly in the future. So that is a short synopsis of Rainbow in a Starlit Sky. It is basically focusing on the light so that we can get to the lesson, which leads to the rainbow.
Absolutely. Where can folks find the book?
The book can be purchased on Amazon.com, but I would love if you came to JianJones.com and just put your order in there, and I will send you your book ASAP Rocky.
All right. I'm typing that in the comments, JianJones.com.
Mhm.
And what's the price on the book?
The book is $15 right now, I believe,
Okay. All
because
right.
I had a sale, and I believe that sale is still happening. Yes.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I just put that in the comments. Okay. What do you have coming up, if anything?
Ooh, Monday there is
Okay.
the um 2020 Visionary Series for the month of June on June 15th, which is Monday from 6 to 6:30 with my accountability partner, Mr. Derek Standifer. And we are talking
Mhm.
about consistency with the goal settings. I'm talking about consistency from the press and fly perspective, and he is talking about consistency with the 6 steps of solving the Rubik's Cube. So you learn to solve the twists and turns of life by learning to solve the twists and turns of the Rubik's Cube. So that is on um, Monday. I also have the investment banker challenge going on right now, the 30-day investment banker challenge. So if you go to It's Jian Jones on Facebook, well, Jian Jones on Facebook and It's Jian Jones on Instagram, there is a 30-day challenge each and every month of the year. So you have no excuse for not exercising because I provide you with free information on an exercise routine. And if you DM me, I provide you with modifications. So I have that going on. What else is going on? Putting out the Gion's first mixtape, Volume One, which is coming out soon. I'm still formatting that, but that is coming out very soon. I feel like there's some other things that I have going on. There's always something going on.
Now, are you
Nicole.
working on another book?
Well, that it's a book of poetry. The Gion's first mixtape, Volume
Okay.
One, is a book of
Okay.
poetry. So
Okay.
it's actually already it's been written. It's just being formatted now for release.
Gotcha. All
Yes.
right. I don't know how you had time to do all of this.
I don't either. I don't think about it. I think
Yeah,
I just
I figured you
I
was gonna
stay in the
say
present moment. That's
right.
what I do. I stay in the present moment. and that's how it gets done.
You're doing a fine job, ma'am. You're doing a
Thank
fine
you.
job.
Learning from you because I don't see how you do all that you do.
Listen, I need to get more sleep, which I'm about to do after we get off this live. So,
Okay, because that's very important.
yes, so that's what I normally cut is the sleep. So, because I figure I could sleep later on.
And we're
But no,
gonna
it
have
is
to talk.
important.
We're gonna have to
Yeah,
talk.
we do. So, as we wrap up again, any final comments, please put them in, and we will read them. If you have any suggestions for future topics or guests, let me know. I'd be happy to take that under consideration, and I also invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. Subscribing is supporting, and we need all the support we can get. Tomorrow, Thursday, we have Single in the City where Kings Meet Queens at 8:30 p.m. Myself, Nicholas Rains, and Joe Horn. We have got a whole host of topics to discuss, which will be quite entertaining. So I invite you to tune in to my personal page or the Single in the City Facebook page for our live broadcast. Again, 8:30 p.m. Our topics will include DM turnoffs. What can married
Oh,
folks contribute to single folks in single groups to their conversation? Are soulmates real or not? Does the person who says I love you first relinquish power? And
hmm.
what are some things my significant other and I can do to prepare ourselves for marriage? So it will be a lively discussion as always. So
It
Single in
will
the
be.
City where Kings Meet Queens, 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, Facebook Live. So check us out. All right. So we got a couple of parting comments. Cara saying she doesn't sleep, talking about me. Thank you, Cara, for telling my business. And Stephanie Bowden with Brandon's wife. Great conversations, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, Stephanie. Appreciate you being on here. All right. So I think we have done all that we can do. Please like and share.
Hmm.
Tell your friends to check out the replay. Very great tips tonight on coping with stress and anxiety. So again, thank you, Jian. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you.
Wonderful. All right. And we'll see y'all next time. Toodaloo.